Hey, can you guys hear me now? Perfect. Okay, I'm going to give it a couple of seconds and open up FIFA 14. Hopefully those that were on just now will come back. Give it a minute or two. And okay, maybe people will join later. Okay, so what I was trying to say previously was FIP14 Manager is the tool that you need to use before and during installation of this mod. First of all, whether you're installing on a clean install or over an old mod or whatever you're doing, if you've used a database or if you've used anything before and you want to save that career, then you first of all you go to the save version and you save that. That will ensure that everything that you've done up until this point will be saved. Your database will be fine. You won't lose anything at all. So any edits you make and so on will all be saved in that database. Okay? And all of that stuff, by the way, is saved in here under version. Okay? So you save a version. So we're going to call this one test version. And I'll put some notes in here. Test version for live. Okay? And you save that version. And test version will be added. It's very quick, and that will then save all of your database and everything that you need to ensure that if you ever wanted to play this again or go back to this, that you can. Now, what I was saying earlier, which you may not have picked up on, is within the data folder and the scene assets folder, you have all of this stuff. This is where all of the things like the stadiums, the faces, the kits, everything that you had previously are kept. And so if you want to keep any of that stuff, then you need to back it up and move it somewhere else before you install the new mod, because it will overwrite files, and once they're overwritten, then they'll be gone forever. Okay, but that's for you guys to worry about. I can't deal with that stuff. That I can't. There's so many different people doing so many different things. I can't cater for that. I can write a script that will move it for you, but that will probably cause more problems than it's worth, to be honest. Yes, I'm going to go to the game, but some people need to see, this part. This part is actually one of the things that I get asked more than anything else. It's the most simplest part, is the installation, but actually I get asked it all the time, so I have to explain this stuff. So bear with me, because people will be watching this later on and will hopefully get their questions answered. Now, very simply, with most of the installs, you just drag and drop the files into this folder and that's it, and then you regenerate, right? It's very simple. The next step, of course, is then you open up FIP14 Manager and you choose the version you want to use. Now, I don't know if you heard this well the last time, but anything that's marked with ST means that it's a stadium version. And as someone has pointed out, I think that the database hasn't been updated to include all the stadiums, so I'll update that later on. Thank you for pointing that out. But this generally will be the stadium versions that you'll use, and these will be the normal ones. So just bear that in mind, no matter what version. If it has ST in it, it means that that is a stadium version. And if you do not have these stadiums installed, you will have things like black matches, no grass, all that sort of stuff. Okay. Now these versions are for normal versions. So anything that doesn't have ALP in the name will mean that you can't play all of the additional leagues, which includes things like the Indian Super League, the Turkish Super League, the Chinese Super League, anything basically that wasn't in FIFA 14. Unfortunately, that's just the way things are with that mod. But first of all, because it will be the biggest change that we've made, I'm going to show you a stadium version, and I'm going to show you how the Europa Conference League works. Okay, so I'm going to apply this, click yes, and then it's included, it's done, and I'm going to also regenerate. And if you saw the last video, you would know that I would have done this already, so I don't really need to do this, but I'm doing it anyway because there's no problem in regenerating. Do it as often as you need to. Alright, so once that's done, I'll open up FIP14 and we'll get to it. Right, all done. Let's go, shall we? So, close that, we don't need that at all. Now, I'm also going to show you a deliberate crash as part of this tutorial, so you'll understand what happens if you don't open the correct version of the mod in Version Manager. If you are having problems downloading, there are a couple of issues. The traffic to FIFA Infinity has been huge, so unfortunately it's responding very slowly. You should be able to download from any one of Google or Mega. If you're still not able to do that, then I will upload. But as you may have heard in the last video, I'm not quite in the same setup that I normally have, so my internet isn't as good and my technology isn't as good as it was or is normally, and so you will have to bear with me because I can't do things as quickly as I normally would, but I will be adding more places for you to be able to download content, no doubt about it. I think I'm going to do OneDrive and probably MediaFire as well, and on the OneDrive in particular I'll put a full stadium pack, so not parts but actually a full stadium pack for version 2 through to 4. Okay. Okay, can you guys still hear me? Okay, right, so I'm going to go into a new career mode, and I'm first of all going to show the Europa Conference League. Now this should work. Now there is a difference when you're actually starting up career mode. When you're playing in Europe, you have this option here. Now you never select this, okay? There may be versions where you do select this again, but this is no longer an option, so you don't need to select that to play in Europe anymore. Okay, so we're going to go and open that up. Okay, I'm choosing Tottenham because I know that they're in the Europa Conference League to start, so I can show you them in the competition. Okay, so when we go to season, we go over to fixtures, and you'll be able to see here that you've got the Premier League, and then now there's the Europa Conference, and you'll see it says TBD. This is normal because the way that this now works is like it does in later games after the first season, where basically once you've won the competition, you played it 1 year, then you can now play the playoffs and things like that. Well, now what happens is the Champions League is played, and then once that round is done, you then go into the Europa League, and then that will populate with teams that are due to come into the competition at this point, and then the teams that didn't qualify for the Champions League will also come into this category. And then the Europa Conference should still say TBD after the first run of games. So let's just do a quick check on that, so that it's looking the 28th of July. Okay, just do go straight through the 28th. Okay, so whilst that's going through, let's have a quick look here. yeah, like I said about the links, I will provide more links later on. Like I said, I'm not on my regular setup at the moment, so there. Please, gamer, I know you're enthusiastic, but I've already said I'll do the ISL, so you don't need to keep asking my friend. Yeah, other than that, I hope you'll enjoy it. I'm sad that it's taken so long. It's been because we did quite a lot of work behind the scenes, which really helped us make a really good mod this year. And also, I was unwell and I didn't really talk to anybody about it, and I was unwell for 3 months, so it's been delayed quite a lot. But I think it'll be worth it, and it's going to be updated quite often, so I think you're going to be quite happy with what you see over the next few months. Right, so now what we expect is that to not be populated yet because the Europa games have not been played. So what we have here is the Champions League has been now played, and they've moved on to the qualifying round 3 and now qualifying round Europa. Now once these games are played, the Europa Conference League should then be populated. So let's just do that. Now this is really valuable whilst I do this, to do it in this way, so that we can all see exactly how this competition is loaded, and I also know for sure that it's working as I expect it to. So the theme actually takes quite some time to create, and Emma and Ahmed made one on the Soccer Gaming Forum which is pretty decent, so if I have time I'll probably make one, but otherwise you can use his. It's very good. Go and have a look. If I can find the link I'll send it to you, and I think he also included like a FIFA 22 soundtrack, so it's really worth doing. That's why, but because I didn't create it, he wasn't part of the team, it's not added into the mod. So the age problem with player career is something that can't be changed by default, but there is a workaround to make the creator player younger, and you have to use cheat table, I believe. What I'll do is I will do a video on that and show you how to do that at some point, or I'll put instructions up or something, but that is possible, but it's not something that I can do within the confines of the mod, if that makes sense. Right, so we should now have the Europa Conference League, August, okay. Have I played the right games? No, I haven't. Okay, 12th. Well, it will help if I went to the right date, wouldn't it? Too much talking. There you go. Right. Okay, so this should now be populated. So now you see... Oh, kidding me. Ah, here we go. Right, so let me... How's that not populated? Well, this would be great if this crashes straight away. It shouldn't be crashing, but if it does, then I'll be having to fix this afternoon rather than enjoy my life. Right, let's go forward and see if it populates. Okay, there you go. It's added up. So for some reason it didn't update as quickly as I expected, but now you can see that we will be now playing in the Europa Conference League. Alright, so there we go. And there's Tottenham and so on. So that's how it now works, okay? I don't know why it doesn't update quickly, but you have to obviously give it a day or so and then it works. Alright, so now the next thing I'm going to show you is the Indian Super League. Now what I'm going to show you with the Indian Super League is slightly different to the other leagues. What we've had to do is we've had to swap the nations India and the Ivory Coast to make the Indian League playable in career mode, and I'll show you how that works. But if I go in this version to play the Indian Super League, I'll show you what happens. Okay. Now I'm expecting a crash here. It should crash. Alright, so what team shall I choose? It doesn't really matter for this version. Okay, so there we go. So we've got the Super League. You'll get this far and you should get to the loading screen and then it will crash in about 2 seconds. There you go. See? So that's what I was expecting to happen. That is exactly what will happen. Okay? I'll show the kits afterwards. Jesus. Okay. Right. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go back into the game folder. We're going to go into version manager. And this is why there are versions called ALP. Okay? So we just select the ALP version of this, click apply, and click yes. Okay? And that's done. I don't need to regenerate because they're all the same files. But there's no if you want to regenerate, I mean I would regenerate usually, but I know I don't have to this time. Yeah, I have to tell you, all of these versions, they take some time to do, because I also do the languages, where I do all of the languages. There's a Turkish language pack in here as well. And of course, if you imagine I've got to do 4 different versions with 4 different options, with 4 different pieces of information, it's quite complicated. And because I'm also doing Confederation Packs, you're talking about probably 4 databases per confederation, which means that pretty much every release I do will end up with something like 20 databases overall. So it can be quite complicated, and things like with the stadiums where I've not linked them properly, these things can happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. It would have happened right at the last minute when I'm consolidating everything, and I just missed it, and it happens. But you know, what can I say? I'm only human. Right, so let's show you this then. Yeah, so I did, the commentary has been updated fully, so it's only the English language that I've done. So there are a few more cool names available, but not that many, to be honest. And you will only notice them in the English, excuse me, in the English language when you use Clive Tildesley. That's basically the situation that we've got currently. It takes quite a long time to do, so it's not on my priority list. That's why I posted it on the forum the other day, because I'm hoping that somebody else will, you know, put in there. And there seems to be 1 or 2 people that will do it. But, oh, actually, let me just use the same team, so it's the same test. So here we go. So we're going to try and go into the ISL. Now we should be able to do this. In this version, if you notice as well, if any of the leagues that you play are not quite the same format as you expect, understand that they will either be improved in the Confederation versions, or there's a reason why they can't be exactly what you want. So as you can see here, this is the table. As you can see, you've got all the fixtures as you would expect here, including the Champions League. So this is really good. This has been expanded a little bit from last year's version, so I've been able to squeeze a little bit more into that there, and this works absolutely perfectly. Now here is a problem. There are 2 things that you can't do to make this work, and you really need to be aware of this. One, this box here, if you open this, you will probably get a crash, okay? And it's unfortunate as that is, there's nothing I can do about it. I cannot get these extra leagues to work if this function is enabled. I'm really sorry about that, guys, but that's just the way it is. The other thing is my career. Now, this information here will not update correctly at all, because there are no objectives available for these leagues, as you can see here. This is because they were not included in the original game, and there's no way for me to be able to make it function so that they work. So I've done a visual change here, which says that it gives you a league objective, but basically that means nothing, because this piece of text is related to something. It relates to nothing, basically. It's just wording so that you don't get weird messages when you play the game. Alright, that's true for every single version, including ISL. Now, the reason why the Indian Super League is so different is because when you go into the global transfer network, you'll see here that even though it's India, you'll see that it's got the Ivory Coast flag. Okay, and that's because India technically has been put in the Ivory Coast there. Okay, so that's where it will show. But because there isn't an additional, like a normal version of India here, like you can't go to it, it will cause a crash. So that's why India is now placed in Africa. It's not because I don't know that India is actually here, right? Okay, just so you know. And I know someone's going to ask me that, and that's why I wanted to point that out. All right, so I think that that's enough for the tutorials on career mode, I think. Is everyone happy with that? No, so the ALP version is you can play all leagues, every single league, but the two things that I mentioned with request funds and with the objectives will be missing. So you will have problems there if you try to select those things. I think with the objectives you just get some weird text, but with the request funds it can crash. So you just need to be aware of that. For me personally, I don't play the ALP version because I generally only use sort of Arsenal, if I'm honest. And I don't really get much time to play. So when I do, I just pretty much play with Arsenal and that's it. So it doesn't really make a big difference for me. And if what will happen in those versions, if you, for example, get sacked and end up trying to go for a job that is in one of these leagues that isn't in the original FIFA 14, you'll get a crash. So that's the danger of using those versions. But I think once people are more comfortable with that, they understand that, it'll be fine. So I hope that is there. Please make version 5. I've literally only just released version 4, my friend. Blimey. Can I show Juve lineup, please? Sure. But first of all, what I'm going to do is actually cancel that. And I'm going to show the kits, because somebody requested that at the ISL. So where are we? India Super League. Okay, don't have much longer to go. So these are the kits now. These are from FIFA 22. You've got the home and away, yeah, I hope they look good to you. What else have we got? We've got East Bengal here, home and away. We've got Goa, home and away. Okay. Some of them do not have sponsors. If it is possible for me to add sponsors later, I'll add them. But generally, with teams that are in FIFA 22, if it's not available in there, then they won't be added. You know, I can't do everything basically. But I hope that you know, this is good enough for most of you for now anyway. Okay. I hope you guys enjoy the ISL. I think it'll be fun. It looks quite good to me. I played with it. It's quite a low level, but it's looks quite interesting. Right, I think that's it for them. Okay, what was the other one? Juve lineups. Yeah, I can do that. Can you show Czech League, please? So the Czech League, in the whole Czech League, is not available in this version. So you have some teams. I'll show you. Do you want to see? I'll show you the kits and the teams that you've got available for the Czech League. But it's not the whole league. You have to wait for the UEFA version, which is currently being finished. So we've got Jablonec here. I don't know if that's how you say it. I think it's got Slavia Prague, home and away, and we've also got Sparta Prague and Victoria Plzen, and I think that's it. That's all we've got in this version. So I've tried to include, you know, the biggest or most successful teams at this particular moment, and including the teams in FIFA 22. I'm going to quickly show the person who wanted to see the Juventus lineups. Of course, the Juventus lineups will not be up to date yet. That will be coming. I've got to go out today. I should have left already. But after this video I'll be going out and I will be working on it probably Sunday. You know, at sometime midweek I think that we should have the transfer versions updated. So what you're going to have here is the 20th of December squads as they were, and you can play with those and so on. Now, of course, some of you are not going to be happy with these squads. You're going to want the latest squads and so on. Of course you do. It's been long enough. But what will be really helpful to me is things like where people pointed out about like the referee faces and the stadium, stuff like that. Anything that you notice, please go onto the Soccer Gaming site or onto the Discord server or even in the YouTube videos and just explain to me what the issue is and try to be very clear. For example, if you say to me, my game is crashing, there is absolutely nothing I can do with that comment because I don't know what it is. You literally could play a whole season of 15 years with one team and not experience a crash, but when you go to another part of the world, there may be something in that part of the world that doesn't affect the part of the world that you are playing in, and that will cause a crash every single time. So you have to be very specific about what you're playing, who you were playing with, what season you're in, what mode you were playing. Every single piece of information you can give me, the better. Okay, can you please show the Barca lineups? Also, yeah, I can do the Barca in a minute, and I'll do the 6 tests. I'm not going to show a lot of the lineups because what you can do is go to South Africa. Sorry, it's not South Africa. So FIFA, and you can see the lineups that were done on the 20th of December, and you'll see pretty much all of the teams and what their lineups were on that day, and then that squad update. That's it. Every single player that was in that squad update will be in this mod. Can you minimise the growth of player, make more realistic career mode? This should already be done. The growth of players has been altered already to ensure that the players actually grow as they should. Now, it's not as there are more options in later games. In FIFA 14, there are some issues with some players growing a little bit faster than you would like, and some that grow slower. But they all get there in the end, if you like. What I've tried to do to balance this out is there are, for example, icons. With the icons, those players will cost a lot, and I mean a lot of money to buy, because you know for sure that those players will eventually become superstars, and that should be the case with all of the really, really big stars. But with the growth system and the way that it's been done, if you choose teams like, for example, you're talking about the Romania League or the ISL, there will be players that you can find in those leagues that have really high potentials, that have really good growth points, that are really worth looking into, and you will be able to buy those. So this is really important that you guys don't just sort of buy the famous players. Look around, because you're going to find some really, really good players, and hopefully that will help with the growth and all that sort of stuff. The other thing about growth is it's also been altered for the age of players. So the age, they don't just completely just die off as they get older. Of course, when you're sort of 32, 33, 34 and so on, they will start to decline, but not like it used to. Alright. Yes, you can do manual transfers if you like, but remember, if you do that, what happens is that any updates that I bring in, any mods and so on that I introduce, you'll not be saved. So the way you have to look at it like this: if you want to update FIP yourself, when I introduce updates, as long as you don't touch your original database and use version manager to save what you've done, you can always go back to that. And unless there's a bug that was already present, like a game-changing bug or a crash or something like that, your version should be just fine. All right. I can also show you, actually, because it actually gets asked quite a lot. How do you edit the database and not have crashes? So I'll show that in a moment, because I don't mind people updating it. I have a bit of a reputation for not liking it. What I don't like is when people take my mod and try and make money off of it. That's where I get annoyed. Is there new call names? Yes, I've added some new call names. The Champions League is the tournament mode. You can play tournament mode, but you can't you can't actually go to like the Champions League or anything like that. That was just something that I decided I would leave off at this point, because I haven't actually done it yet. I've not created it yet, so This is just something that I just haven't done yet, I'm afraid. So this was a request for Barcelona. I'm not going to do any more than this. This was because it will take me all day, and I don't have much longer. I definitely got to leave soon. So that's basically the Barcelona team as it was. I hope you enjoy it. There will be new players. I think some of the younger players that people keep asking about, like Gavi and stuff, may already be in here, but if they're not, there you go, Scott Gavi. But if they're not, they definitely will be in the next version. Also made a face for Araja, which looks decent. Right, what was I going to do next? Can you show the Slovenian League? I don't have the Slovenian League. The Slovenian League is not in this mod. They only have, I think I've got like 2 teams or something. That's it. Let me have a look. What have I got for Slovenia? So Slovenia is just Maribor and Mura and Limpija. I can't say Limpija. Whatever that is. These are the 3 teams that we've got there. Alright, and these will be from 20th of December, around that time. Okay, so that's the players that you've got there. Slovenian League is... It's not that it's not possible to do, it's just that we already have 60-something playable leagues, I think maybe more than that. And it just takes a really long time to do all of this stuff. And I can't do it all on my own. And so we do have a really good team of people who do some great work. But even then, you know, you need a lot of people to make these leagues and mods. It takes a long time. So, yeah, all the new stuff. Well, Dani Alves wasn't there at that time, you see. The transfers have not been done yet. There are no new themes. I haven't done those. I haven't had time to do new themes. Sorry. Saka rating, please, and Foden. Why? Their stats are exactly the same. Okay, I get really annoyed about this issue, so I'm just going to do a quick rant. Overalls make no fucking difference. Okay? Excuse the language, but they make no difference. All that matters is the stats. There are players in this game that are 70 rated that are better than 80 rated players. There's a reason for that. There's a technical reason for that. And I know what it is, and I can't be bothered explaining it. So overalls are not important. With FIFA 14, there are certain stats that are not available. For example, the composure stat is not in FIFA 14. So this overall for players in FIFA 14 is different. So for example, if you go to a player and he is 80 rated on FIFA, or you're expecting him to be 80 rated, he might be 70 rated on FIP, or he might be 60 rated, or it might even be 85 or something like that. I don't know what the differences are. But Saka, for example, is 79 rated here. But if you look at the stats and the date of when the mod was made, you'll see that the statistics, i.e. this data here, will be exactly the same, including all the traits. Which, by the way, isn't available in any mod other than FIP. For some reason, people haven't worked out how to do that yet. And I'm not telling them. Please update... what? Sweet effects for... No, so the problem with some of these effects and things that people add is I don't add them because the people that use FIP in general are on quite low-end PCs. So what I do instead is, if you go into the FIP folder and you go to mods, you have these additional mods that you can install. Now, as you can see here, we've got a high res hair quality thing. You've got a graphics mod that I made last year, which enhances the colour a little bit, and some other stuff, right? Now, all of these have been explained in other videos, and I don't want to explain them right now. But if you install them, they will make differences to your game. But I don't install them by default because I don't want it to be an unpleasant experience for anyone playing the game. So I go backwards. For example, if you're running on a low-end PC with low graphics and you install the high quality hair mod, that will reduce your frame rate, it will reduce the quality experience, and you won't enjoy it. So, and you won't even see the benefits. Now, I could do that on my machine because it's pretty decent, but some people won't, and that's how I have to look at it. The people that do include this stuff, honestly, they don't know how it really works anyway. So even if you ask them to remove it, they don't know how to remove it. So that's why you find all of this stuff in other mods and it hasn't been touched. And, you know, I just don't want to get into it. But there you go. So that's why. So every now and again I'll do that. And I think that this is a bit overdue. I probably need to do a video to explain exactly what each of these things do. But that's why they're not included as default. Same with the themes, really. And scoreboards as well. I think I've got a problem with one scoreboard last year. One of the scoreboards was causing a crash in the Champions League. I think it was the FIFA 21. So what I might do in a future update, if I can prove that that is the problem, I will get a script that when you install will remove that file so that you don't have that problem anymore. Yeah, as I said earlier, I will update to more leagues. After January transfer are out, will the ratings be updated according to latest FIFA ratings? Yeah, of course. But when you talk about ratings, understand that when I talk about ratings, I'm talking about the height, the numbers, the weights, the nation, the positions. We're talking about the statistics. They will be exactly the same. So if you go to, so FIFA, I can probably show you now if I can be bothered, but I can't. You will see that if its heading accuracy is 45, then it'll be 45 on that website, because these stats are taken directly from and converted from FIFA 22. The only difference will be the overalls, which I cannot match. It's impossible. Hence why some players are lower rated and some are higher. Okay. The away goal rule removed in UEFA competition. Yeah, I think it should be. Yeah, it should be gone. I have to check things like that. Unless I've done it recently, I can never remember if I've done it or not. But yeah, that should be gone. Okay. Thanks for having. If you can help in any way with kits, I really appreciate it. If anybody can help with kits, I really appreciate it, because with anything really, because you may notice that sometimes I go on Soccer Gaming and all I see is just people asking for stuff, and really I'm looking for people to be offering their help in some way. The only thing I don't help really respond to is when people ask if they help, because what happens is if they want to help with testing and so on, I give them the mod and then they disappear, and that has happened so many times. So that's why that's the main thing really. But other than that, if you've got faces you want included, or kits or stadiums, if you send me the files, if I've not done them, or if I can add them, or if there's value and they can be added, then I'll do it. Yeah, so please, if you've got anything, let me know. Put them in the forum. Are female teams playable? No, females are not in FIFA 14 by default, and they're not in FIP either. That's basically because, like with the male models, I've still not been able to get the male models and the female models to look good in game. So I've done a lot of tests on the sleeve length, for example, for kits and things like that. But yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's something that I'm not prepared to do for the female teams, I'm afraid. I'm really sorry about that. But let's be honest, female football's rubbish anyway. My game crashed on FIP version 3 when substitution happened in Champions League. Is this bug already fixed in new mod? So this is what I was talking about with the scoreboards before. So I think if you go to explain that issue, if you go to game, FIP, scoreboard, if you load up, I think the problem may have been with, look how many scoreboards there are, guys. This is insane. I can't even remember what they are. I think it's this one which was causing a problem. So if you have this theme installed, that I think is the one that's causing the problem. So if you delete that, it should be good. Yeah, as you can see, look how much stuff there is. Like, this is unbelievable, the amount of stuff you've got here. Even the boots, look how many boots there are. It's insane how many boots we've got in this patch. And we've got old versions, new versions. It's insane, mate. This took me, you know how long it took me to do all of these boots? And I'm not joking. Every single boot that's here, I didn't just get sent the boot. Every boot is edited and modified so that it works best in game. Craziness, mate. That's the sort of level of dedication you're talking about. And the next thing I've got to do is gloves, and I'm not looking forward to that. But I'll probably do that when I do the model updates. I think players are not saturated. They look dull. But it's just an early mod too. What you mean, the colours of the skin and stuff like that? I can't do anything about that stuff, you know, like the files are what they are. You're talking about, if you go into, I think that's what you mean, but you can use more vibrant colours by using mods like Sweet FX and so on. But for example, look how many faces there are in here. For a start, there's nearly 27,000 face files, right? Okay. And I think about 5,000 of them are actual players as well, and referees and stuff like that. So, you know, like I can't guarantee that skin colours and players and everything looks perfect for every single person. And there's 7,000 faces in here. 7,000, dude. And again, all of those have been edited by me in some way. Jesus. Lot of work. So the actual stats like sprint speed are updated. Latency as that. So the stats for this version were taken from the 20th of December 2021. You will see when you open up Version Manager, you will see that it tells you exactly when the stats were taken and from what version. So if you ever want to know where the EE squad came from, that'll be the date. And I do that date because this question about overalls and so on comes up quite often. Alright. So what are the new task routines? So I'll tell you what, we'll open up Creation Master and I will show you what the new national teams are. And I'll also show you how to save the file and not have anything break. I appreciate you so much. Thank you very much. Awesome. I do actually, there's a couple of things that I haven't announced which may actually improve the game even further. So keep a lookout for them. But for the moment, it's all about getting the squads and the databases out, and so that everybody's got something to play, you know. Give some diet plans. Diet plans? Are you talking about my diet thing? No, I'm not doing that. Well, maybe I'll do some videos on that if people want it, but no. I think that's what you mean. I guess so. Well, I tell you what, gamer, play UEFA tournament in career mode. It's much, much better and far more enjoyable. I don't understand why people only want to play tournament mode. It's weird to me. Probably because there's so many mods where career mode doesn't work, but I can assure you it works. I'm not telling you how I convert. I'm definitely not telling you how I do that. I know you can't do anything about the actual ratings, but the actual stats like sprint squad. Yes. Did I already answer that? Does players like Mahrez wear gloves in non-snowy weather? I don't know, maybe, probably not. I will show Besiktas in a moment. Does player career mode work? I played it and it started with a player 26. Yeah, again, this is an issue that I can't do anything about by default, but I think there is a workaround for it, and I will post that as soon as possible. So if you are playing in career mode with your created player, it'd be 27. So your best bet is to use one of the younger players. That'd be better for you. Please stop spamming. I saw Besiktas. I will do it, my friend. I see it doesn't work properly. Why, man? Like when I click on save, it loads and doesn't work. I don't know why your CM15 doesn't work. As you can see, I have it open here. I don't know why a CM15 isn't working for you. So these are the national teams in this version. There are more in the other version, which includes more African teams, but unfortunately for this base version you won't have all of those teams. So you've got Korea Republic, England, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France. I don't know why I'm reading this, you can see it I guess. Germany, Greece, Iceland, Italy and Norway. Poland, Portugal, Republic of Ireland, Romania, Russia, Scotland, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, Ukraine, Wales, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, Costa Rica, Mexico, United States, Cameroon, Japan, China, Australia, Hungary, Bosnia, North Macedonia, Netherlands, Northern Ireland, Serbia, Peru, Colombia, Ivory Coast, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Algeria, Bolivia, Canada, Chile, Ecuador, India, New Zealand, Venezuela and Qatar. Okay, I hope you're happy with that list. Of course, somebody's nation's going to be missing, but at the moment I think the maximum we can add is something, I think it's 120. But of course, if I do a team of 120 national teams, career mode will be useless because there won't be any leagues to play, and not only that, the experience won't be so good in career mode, because you have to remember my mods are all about career mode. That's all it's about. It's all about career mode. And it's all about when I stop modding, or when I have some free time, when I can stop and I can play my favourite mode. That's why it's always been about career mode. Hence why I always try to update career modes as often as possible. Do the kit overlays work? Yes, they do. Hello, I was starting to believe you stopped working on this, but then your video popped up on my YouTube, so thank you so much. Thank you very much. It's really nice when people put things like that. Yeah, look. Don't get me wrong, there's been times when I was going to stop, and the last few years I've not enjoyed it, mostly because of other people stealing the mod and pretending they made it and all this sort of stuff. That really angered me, and I just lost it. But you know, some of the FIFA team really helped me. I hope it's not manually because it's so tired. Good job. I don't know what you're responding to, I'm afraid, my friend. We upload to other servers. Yes. Please make the live stream public. Is it not public? It should be public. I will do that afterwards once we're finished. Go to the January transfers database. Will be from the start of February, I imagine. No. The January transfer database will come from the 31st of March. Well, we've already done it. It's already been done, right? So that's already there. The only reason it's the 31st of March and not, for example, the 13th of April is because they've now removed like the Russian teams. So we're going to keep it to the 31st of March, and then those teams will be updated manually later on in the year if, for example, the war doesn't end and so on and so forth. Love from India. Yeah, love back, my friends. Love back. Lots of love coming through. I appreciate it, guys. I hope the kits won't revert themselves to old kits when we play UEFA Championship. No, why would that happen? That I've not been made aware of this issue ever. That shouldn't be happening at all. That I don't know why. I don't know when that. No one's ever told me about that. That shouldn't be happening. In fact, it's not possible that will happen. So I will check out for it now that you've made me aware, but I've not heard of that before. That must suck. They don't even give you credit for your own work or that. Yeah, so with that stuff, people, no credits. They would add like pay links. I don't know if you know what pay links are, where you click on a link and you have to go through lots of different hoops and blah blah blah. And that's what people were doing, and it's really unfortunate because, as you can see, it takes quite some time to create these mods, and people, it's really rude. Really, it's really rude what people do. It's really not on. And if they do it on YouTube, they've got a chance their channel will be deleted. So, I hope you bear that in mind. Okay. And did you remove the pro game? Pro game. I don't know what pro game means or pre-game means. Oh, you mean the friendlies in career mode? Yeah, I did remove them. Look, no one plays them anyway, and actually it really helped make a better career mode by removing them. You say cool names, yes. No, so new cool names, not been able to find out how to do that yet, but maybe in the future. Yes, look, we all understand what's going on with the war, right? And I understand why different countries are putting sanctions on Russia. I don't know a lot about the real reasons why either of them are warring, but I do know what has been said. And if you look back to World War II, Russia did the same thing with Germany. So they do have history of trying to invade countries. The reasons I've heard of why it's happening are wrong. So I did think about removing the Russian teams, but there's also been a lot of time spent on the Russian teams. I actually did the Russian League myself personally, and I don't think football fans should be punished for the decisions that are being made by governments that don't listen to anybody, right? So that's the situation. So I'm not going to punish fans for that. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. I don't know what else to say really, but yeah, I hope whoever plays them enjoys them, and I hope that there isn't any hate towards Russian people, because they don't deserve it necessarily. Yeah, no, thank you very much, guys. No, I'm not working on it alone. There's a team of us. We had one guy, Dennis, who came in, and he's been amazing. He's made a lot of the teams that are actually not in this mod yet. And so you're going to be able to see those in the CAF Champions League and the AFC Champions League, all of that stuff. You're going to see more teams in those versions. He's been amazing. We had a guy called Enersons who came in, and he supplied originally the Brazilian A and B leagues. Those were actually updated in the end by myself, but he helped with that, and he's been helping with testing. He's been really valuable. We've also got Scouser, who you guys may know, who works on FIP14. And it does amazing. He's amazing. Like, he's a much better modder than I am. Like, much better. We've also got... there's loads of people. That's PIO Forever, who does amazing boots. We've got Kimonos. There's so many people that work on it. But when it comes down to the actual database, like doing all this stuff, that comes down to me and Scouser. We're the guys that do that stuff. So, yeah, that's why we get all the praise, I guess. Mega Batch, thank you very much. I think it's getting late for you. Enjoy, man, and thanks a lot. Yeah, no worries. I hope you enjoy it. Yes, I'm going to be going soon. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to edit it. So, for example, one thing I wanted to show people was the youth players, right? So if you go to Creation Center in CM15, you're going to see 3 teams. You're going to see the foot icons, which is an actual team that you can play in-game. Also Soccer Aid World 11, which is in FIFA 22, which you can also play in game. And then you've got the youth icons. Now the youth icons are not a team. Okay, you can't play them in game. They're only here specifically so that you can transfer them and use them. So as you can see, there's no formation, and there are loads of them. There's over 100. There may even be 200. I don't know. And what they are, they're all young. So if you look at the statistics, you'll see that their overalls are low. Okay, but the potentials, of course, will be pretty high. I've included the classic 11 players. You've got Pele, Maradona. I've even got some of the newer players. You've got Zidane. All of these players are here. And like I said, the classic 11 players. So you've got all of these players that are available. And you can choose to do one thing or another. So one thing what you can do is you can go by team and add them to the free agents, for example. And then select them in career mode if that's something you wanted to do. So let's say, for example, we want to have a ton of these players in the free agents. We'll just click transfer. Okay. Let's just do a few more. Okay, so that's one thing. You've got the transfers done there. Okay, and let's say you want to make some stat changes. Someone mentioned Saka, for example, because yes, he has been updated since the 20th of December. and yes, you can update his stats. So what you'll do is you'll go into here, we'll find Saka. Right, and let's say you wanted all of his stats to be 99. Yeah, so you just do it. Let's just do those. All right. Okay. That's just so it's a really obvious change. I'm doing that. Okay, so all those stats have been updated, and you've also got those players that I've moved to free agents. If you then go to save. Okay. Now what happens here is the career mode will be dead now. Like it'll be broken. So what you do to ensure that it's not broken is you go to Tournament Manager, okay, and you go to Load Default Tournaments, yeah, click Load Default Tournaments, install Career Mode Comp Data, click OK, and now you have a working version. Now if you've edited the comp data, like the tournaments and things like that, then you will have to load up that data yourself. I can't tell you which ones you'll be using, but it'll be, you just install it and you're good to go. Okay, so that will ensure that you can now play career mode, and to prove that I'll go and do that. And I have literally, I'm going to go in 15 minutes, so I'm going to quickly show this and then I will go. Okay, so let's open this up and I will quickly show you the changes to Saka, and also show you that a career mode works, and we'll also have a look and see if we can find some of these free agent icons in career mode. The reason I decided to have a youth icons placeholder, if you like, so people can put their youth icons in career mode or not, is because there are going to be so many different databases. I would need to make another database for each version to also have the youth icons in, and I'm really sorry guys, it's just too much work for me to do. So this way it comes down to your choice. If you want to use them, you can, and if you don't, you don't have to. Okay, let me just check something first before I do this. To documents. Okay, I need to delete that first. So if you have made any changes, you need to make sure that the squad file is deleted first before you go into career mode. That's a really good tip. If you have a squad file in there, it will overwrite your data, so you won't be able to see the changes I've just made. Okay, this is going to be the last thing I'm going to show you. Hi Harry, does the Stadium Pack have another link? Not at the moment. The Stadium Pack is pretty huge. I will be uploading it, I think, to OneDrive, and that will be later on today, but I'm going out, so you may have to wait a little while for the Stadium Pack, so please use the other pack for the time being, and the Winter Transfers version will be coming out soon, so I expect some people will be waiting for that, but please try to enjoy the mod without stadiums for the short term, and I'll be releasing the update to that as soon as I can. Alright, so let's do this here. So I'm going to show you the stats for Saka, and also hopefully be able to see some of those lovely icons. Again, you do not choose, go to Sterling as well, as I am English after all. Right. For some reason, Ireland flag shows in place of India. It's not the Irish flag, it's the Ivory Coast. What I'm going to introduce later on is a script which will switch those flags over, and that's what's going to happen in the future, but I haven't written it yet, but that will happen at some point. So it's just a visual thing, don't worry, that's just something that's expected. I showed earlier on how ISL works. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is going to go to the squad report. We're going to have a quick look at Saka, and his stats should now be, as you can see, the changes have been made there, 99.99, yeah, so you can see that there. And if we go to the transfer window, we should be able to have a look and see. Now I am very cautious with this, so what we're going to do is going to have a look and see what attackers we've got in free agents. And there you go, so we've got Di Stefano is available, Shevchenko, Okay, so you've got some of these players. Now, some of these players that were added will go directly to other teams. Okay, but they're all available in free agents. Now, what I did previously was I would put these players into teams with small squads around the world so that they weren't in free agents, because what can happen with these legends is they just sit here forever and nobody ever signs them. That happens quite a lot. Like, for example, Thierry Henry here, he may not be signed by anyone, you know, but you can get them this way. So this is one way that you'll be able to do it, and you can sign them here. But because my squad is full, I can't do it. As you can see here, look, right at this point, he's 4.2 million, which is very cheap. He should be more expensive than that. So I may have to adjust career mode a little bit there. Right, that is the last thing I wanted to show you guys. I use APL pack. Cool. That's exactly the issue I was talking about. So once I've written that script, I'll explain how the script works. So you could just press the button and it will swap those flags over. Only problem with me, but while making substitutions on 2021, yeah, this I mentioned before. This is to do with the scoreboard. So if you remove the FIFA 21 inspired scoreboard, that should fix that problem. No problem, my friends. I'm related to FIP14, but FIP14. Most faces and stadiums are not available. So the only thing that I control with FIP14 and FIP16 is both Scouser and I use pretty much the same database, and we work together to make sure that they're the same. When it comes to the assets, things like stadiums and faces and all the extra stuff that you get in FIP14 is just something that I decided to do. He doesn't bother with that stuff, and to be honest with you, he's right not to, because it's crazy. So any faces or stadiums that you want, you'll have to download those yourself. They have not been converted from FIP14 and may not be available in some cases. Yeah, so just a little back step on this one. I will share how to mod things, and I have done. Actually, if you look back at a lot of my videos, a lot of the information about how to mod something is on there. I've just shown you, for example, how you can, it's even easier now using FIP Tournament Manager, for example, for you to be able to go in, edit your game, reload it up and play it and know that it's going to work. So there's a lot that's changed over the years, but because so many people kept stealing the mod and trying to make money off of it, I decided, well, I'm not going to tell them how to do it, and that's why, unfortunately, a lot of people have to wait this long for the mod to be released. But I'm constantly having to fight these people who just keep continuously stealing the mod, and that makes me not want to share how to do these things, because even if I share it, they're going to use that knowledge and steal my mod anyway. No problem, thank you very much, thanks for popping by. At the moment, 5 subs is possible, but only in substitution, only in simulation mode in career. So that isn't possible basically at the moment, and I haven't included it. Scouser and I are looking at changing it, but I think it's easier to do it in FIFA 16 than it is in FIFA 14. So for the moment, I'm not expecting there to be 5 subs or even 12 on the bench or anything like that. I will write some stuff up that, you know, for those who are not able to understand it. Yes, I just mentioned about the 5 subs. Yeah, look, you know, unfortunately, that's what people do. You know, and it's frustrated me for a long time, and it almost stopped me from modding, because also what was really frustrating at the beginning of FIP as well, when I came back, there were some people who were making new mods, and then I said, well, why don't we just work together and make these great mods? And 1 or 2 people did, but those people just disappeared, and they said, I'll just wait then for yours to come out. So there are a lot of people in the community that will only do it if they're desperate, and will only try and do something if they're desperate. Otherwise, they won't help or won't do anything else. unless it's their name that's punted about. People just want their name out there. They want to be seen as the people that are making this stuff, and they don't want to collaborate as much as people make out they do. Was it hard to add the Conference League? Yes, mate. It was hard. No, actually, no, it was. It was really, really easy because both Scouse and I agreed on exactly the method we were going to do straight away, and I then built it, and I sent him the video. I think I put it on my YouTube channel of how I built it. He did the same thing, and we were done. It took a little while to do it, but it was more time consuming because, of course, adding all the extra teams in, right? So when you add a new tournament, you also have to consider the other teams. So there's all that stuff. So it wasn't just the league that took time. It was actually making the teams too. And I got some great help with making the teams. I'm really proud of what the team did. What about the old Stadium Pack for version 3? Will it work on version 4? So the way that the Stadium Packs work are like a stepping stone. So if you had any of the previous versions of the stadiums, all of them will work, but each pack updates the last. So for example, version 2 is the first pack. Version 3 updates some of the stadiums that were in version 2 and adds new ones. And version 4 does the same thing for version 3. So therefore you need to install version 2, version 3 and version 4, and then you will have the complete up-to-date stadium pack. This year I only added a couple of new stadiums because, well, actually there aren't that many more that I really feel the need to add, if I'm completely honest with you. But Gonzaga has made a few more, and I will be grabbing those and I will be adding those just because he's been really great with the stadium. So I want to make sure that I put as many of his stadiums in the mod as possible. Well, I will say this: some people who have done it on YouTube have lost their channels because of it, and that's just how it is, because they really were taking liberties. And unfortunately, some of these people gained massive amounts of subscribers, and a bit like what I said to the buddy recently was, look, I'm constantly being messaged about your mod and asking me to fix your mod and the changes that you've made. I can't keep getting all of these people asking me to change these mods when I don't know what these people are doing. You know, so it wasn't just because they were stealing the mod, it was because I was becoming under more and more pressure because these people were updating the mod, making changes, breaking the mod, and then I was being asked to fix it, and I'm not going to do that, you know. Did you include the April squad update? No, the next update will include 31st of March 2022 squad update. That will include all the transfers, and then I will then look after that to then add all of the conference leagues and do all that stuff, make sure they're all done. Once those are done, there'll be a small period of time where I will go missing and disappear, and then I'll come back, and then you will have some new content. Okay, alright, so that's there. I'm now here. Can I talk about the graphics? The interface is 2K14. How do you change it? Alright, if you want to know that, I can quickly show you that. So, to change the graphics, all you need to do is go into here and go to Theme Manager. Open this up. Alright, now this is the default theme. If you want to use one of the newer ones or a new one that you've added, what you can do is you can add a new theme, all of its files, into FIP. Go to, where is it stored? Theme. Open up this folder, put a new name, put all the files in there, make sure the structure's correct, and you can add your new themes. But for now, I'll show you a new one of these ones. We'll show you the FIFA 21 inspired one. Install that. That will install. You'll get a message come up here. Click OK. Close that down. You probably will have to regenerate here because I've updated graphics, so I will update those here. Okay, run that. Whilst I'm doing that, I'll just have a quick look at Are you talking about doing a theme for it? If you are, then great. and I'm really glad that I've inspired you to make some mods, and I really hope you enjoy it, and maybe, you know, over some time you'll get some great tips from me, and maybe myself I will get some from you. Okay, the write-up I meant was for the Creation Master Edit Example Saka and Youth Legends. There actually is already a write-up in the README file. If you look at that, that'll explain it already. So have a look at that. If it's not comprehensive enough, leave a comment somewhere, and I always take notice of them, and I will try to clarify for you. Okay, so now that I've added the theme, you should now see some changes to the theme when it opens, when the game starts opening up. I am OP, bro. That's right. If I had a FIFA 99 card, that's it. That's what I'd have. 99 rated, bruv. As they say. As the kids say, I should say. Can I install version 4 MV? Yeah, you can. Any mod you want. You just throw this on top, use version manager to install the new files, and you are done. You don't need clean FIFA 14, but it is better that you do. With every mod, really. Any mod that anyone ever gives you, if you use their original files, it's much better. So as you can see there, I've updated the theme here by using Theme Manager. That's updated that. You'll see the new splash there as well. Oh, yeah, yes, you're right. That's why I always report channels. I appreciate you reporting them, you know. I think not everybody has stolen it. For example, the Buddy's a good example. He's always been very, very respectful. But the only issue I had was he was making so many updates, and I was getting so many complaints and issues coming from that, that there was just nothing. I didn't want him to keep doing the updates anymore, because it was just getting really, really frustrating. So there you go. So that's how you update the theme. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. I'm really happy. I made this theme myself. I'm very happy with the theme. It took a little while to obviously learn how to do it, but I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. And if I do get time, then yeah, I will of course do a new theme. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think I will ever get time. But you know, never say never, as they say. So that's how you install the themes using FIP. So this is going to have to be the last few moments, because I definitely have to leave. I've been saying that for 50 minutes now. Yes, install all the stadium packs if you want to. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. I won't get black stadiums without it, right? Yes, you will. If you use the stadium versions of the database, then you will get black stadiums. The black stadiums isn't always caused just by the stadiums not being there, though. It can also be caused by graphics. The one thing I cannot do with stadium files is I cannot make it possible so that every person playing them will be able to see them properly, because I do not create the stadiums myself. I don't have time to edit them myself. So therefore what happens is you end up with files that maybe have big graphics and you can't load them properly, and it doesn't look good on your screen, so you have to lower your settings just to see them. That's just one of those things, and that's why actually the stadiums have been separated, so that people who can't run with these newer higher quality stadiums can play the game and at least enjoy it that way. Alright, I hope that answers your question. How long do you feasibly see doing FIFA 14 mods? Since we are approaching 2022 now, it still looks playable even today. I think it is still playable. I think the game is pretty decent. I think that some of the animations and some of the movement that you can see in the newer games is better. But I think it's only just got to that point. I think the sort of 16, 17, 18, 19... I'm not so sure that they were that much better, but I think now FIFA 21, 22, the movements and the player styles, those are looking a lot better. But the actual football itself is not better, weirdly. There's some real problems with those newer games. So I think the plan currently is that I will do next season, and that's all I'll talk about for now. Other than that, we may get to a 10th year, but I can't guarantee anything, okay? Do you know how to add new songs in FIFA? Yes, I do, but it's not something that I look into. I would suggest that you go to the Soccer Gaming Forum and have a look in the FIFA 14 section, and you'll be able to find tutorials there. No, so IM Studio, by the way, are one of the other websites that steals my mod. So they stole my mod and started claiming that it was their mod. That's a fact, by the way. They did that, and I tried to get in touch with them, but they just ignore everything and they just do it because they earn quite a bit of money, I expect, from stealing people's mods. So no, IM Studio mod will not work with this mod, and even if it did, I would not recommend you use it. And if you do, I pretty much don't like you. Sorry, that's just the way it is. When you're working on the patch and when you're importing files from newer FIFA games, are you importing them from PC versions? So mostly PC now. Most of the things that I use are from PC. Some of them will be from FIFA Online 4 as well, and so on. Okay. Hello, theme from FIFA 2. Yes, the theme from FIFA 22 should work. So if you find one, like the one that Emran Ahmed made, install it. I am now starting to answer some of the same questions, so I'm not going to go back. And there you go, Emran's theme. There we go. Yes, it is. I have the stadium pack, but for stadiums are still black. That will be to do with your graphics mod. So if you go into your graphics, just look at the settings there. You may have to lower some settings to get the stadiums to show properly. No problem. Yes and no. Like I said, download the stadium packs. They should be good to go. Otherwise, have a look at your stadiums, your settings and your graphic settings, and see if you can change those to get the stadiums to view. Can you show how to use Scoreboard Manager? I'm pretty much running out of time. I've already done a video on Scoreboard Manager. Please look back through my channel. There will be one that shows you how to use it. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm so glad to do it. And Emran, if you wouldn't mind, can you please put your link to your theme and your FIFA 22 soundtrack in this box? And what I'll do is I'll grab that and I'll put it in there so it can be added onto the mod. Thank you very much. Hey Rel, long time no speak, my friend. I hope you are very, very well. And yeah, I am still active. I don't know what game you've moved on to. I haven't seen you around. I think I don't know if you're on the forums or not, but yeah, good to see you, my friend. I unfortunately have to go now, everybody. But I really appreciate all the time that you've put in to talk to me today, and I really hope you enjoy the mod. The winter transfers will be updated very, very soon, next few days. Please bear in mind it is a bank holiday here in England, so I am doing stuff and I won't be spending time modding, all weekend, for example. But as soon as it's ready, it will be available. And then I will also introduce the Confederation Packs, which are amazing. And if you want to know more about those, go to the FIFA Infinity website, have a look at FIP14, and you'll see a sample of some of the leagues and the things that will be available in FIFA 14. But please bear in mind that though the differences between the games are bigger than you may think, and so it isn't a straight conversion as you may expect, which is a shame, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. I'm going to get out of here now, and I wish you all the very best of luck.